So, Todd, when I say first fan of the night, you guys echo first fan of the night in your either best or worst impression of me. Hey guys, first fan of the night.
First fan of the night.
So, first of all, if you want to see behind the scenes footage, including me giving crap to everybody that's here and them giving crap to me, that is available on patreon.com/dspiffy. So, today is a privilege because one of my closest friends is here with us, and I don't think he's ever been here for a fan testing video before. Todd, have you?
I don't think so.
So you've probably seen Todd in plenty of my videos because we do music stuff together. We work on organs together. He was here for the initial the initial tour of the new organ shop. Todd, by the way, once we get things cleaned up and organized, we're going to do a new tour showing the whole building. I'd really like it if you were here for that. And then also, either that day or another day, I'd really like to do a tour where we go through all the organs and Leslie's and talk about them the same way that like Pete and I do with the fans. So just put that on your calendar. Anyhow, yeah, so Todd's here. And so Todd's going to get to see our very scientific, very unscientific methods for fan testing. Pete's here, of course.
Yes.
And anything else we usually open the videos with? Oh, so we usually open the videos talking about the fan that's in the video and if it has significance to us, and if so, how.
Oh, yeah.
These have a lot of significance to me. This is a cast leading edge. These were sold mainly through Granger as Dayton in the 80s.
Yeah.
University of Wisconsin was loaded with these, especially the Memorial Union, but really all over the campus.
Okay.
So that's where I most remember seeing these as a kid.
Yeah.
Also, the brown 60-inch version, there was two at the front of the Barrymore Theater. Unfortunately, those are long gone. They're replaced with newer fans, I think newer leading edges. So I think they still just ordered whatever Granger had at the time. But I was obsessed with those as a kid. My favorite, these came in, as leading edge, these came in 56 and 60-inch brown and white, and then as Westinghouse, they came as, Pete's filming too.
No, I'm just looking to see how this looks on my camera.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
As Westinghouse, they were offered also in 36 and 48-inch. My leading edge workbench video goes into great detail. You can have that, by the way. I don't want it. I just can't. I don't have the heart to throw it out. I know, right? But I don't know why to keep it either. Show it in the camera if you want. Anybody want this? I don't even know what the fuck it is.
It's a radio with a directional antenna on it. It's
Hold it up a little bit. So, yep, there we go. Now we're in the frame. Free. You pick up. So that was a commercial break. Anyhow. If you go to my leading edge workbench video, I go into detail, but basically, there's Todd. These were offered initially as a trial run by Westinghouse, and then the founder of Leading Edge found a sample and used it to start his company because he felt that these were better built than any other commercial fans on the market at the time. They were made by Weatherite, which was a division of China Cold Storage in Hong Kong. Okay, Pete, do you remember seeing these at all as a kid?
Yes.
What'd you say, Todd?
Burr.
Yes, I do. Let's see. When I was a kid, Bayshore Mall in that main atrium.
Oh, they did.
Yes, before they tore it down, like I've been going to for my dentist when they were still in the mall, was they had 48-inch flower pots. But I remembered my mom kept reminding me.
I remember those flower pots there, but I don't remember the cast ones.
When I was a kid in the 80s, they did have cast. They had these exact casts because I remember the Bell Canopy, and they were not ring fans, but I remembered these exact type.
Cool.
Way up there, they're pretty high up, but...
So, Todd knows electronics, so I'm sure he'll catch on the test rig pretty quick, but you can definitely show him how to use a test rig. All we're basically doing, this is a fancy speed control that allows us to pick any value of capacitor in series with the motor. So our first test on a fan like this that doesn't have a pull chain is just what we call 0 to high, which is pretty obvious what that is.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention...
What? Okay, go ahead, Pete.
Noah's Ark gift shops.
Oh, yeah.
That there's some that still exist there. Last I checked, I have a video on them. So I'm just saying I've seen these too.
Oh, they're still there?
Yeah,
some
of them are. There was one that replaced those Harbor Breeze huggers.
Granger still has these installed here. I'm not sure anywhere else in Madison that still has these installed. Granger still has a few up.
Yeah.
They used to have blender fans too, and they took those down. And yes.
Yeah.
So
So we do 0 to high.
we do 0 to high. There's a button there, Todd, just marked high, and it just gives it full power. We take a small bet on whether or not it will have no inrush of current,
That's looking at the meter.
two 1/100ths of an amp, or more than 2 1/100ths of an amp.
Yeah. Like
So you want to take a bet? I know you have no idea, but it's a permanent split capacitor motor. Draws about 1 amp if you want to take a bet based on that. We always have the new person go first.
Okay.
Pick one of those categories.
That might have an initial 1 amp inrush, I would think.
No, it would not.
It's not gonna be that high, but Todd's going with big inrush. He's going with more than 2 1/100ths of an amp.
Right.
So what are you going with, Pete?
I'm gonna go with small.
Small inrush, which would mean 1 or 2 1/100ths of an amp.
Yeah.
Okay, hit the high switch, Pete.
All right.
Okay, so it goes up to 1.08, and then it's dropping, so we definitely have a inrush. If it drops, so Todd wins with big inrush because it definitely is more than 2 1/100ths of an amp. Let's see how far down it goes.
Probably going to
This
stabilize
one is
there.
labeled high
Yeah.
tech.
What'd you say?
This one's labeled high tech.
High tech. Well, that was the model number when Leading Edge sold these, not through Granger.
Yeah.
They were high tech was the 56, and not Magnum. Magnum was the 72. What was the 60 called? They have labels on it. Okay, it draws 103 watts, so the power factor is 0.84.
Yep. So just over 3/4.
You want to measure the RPM?
Yes. Okay. We'll see if I get a good reading. I did in there with a couple of Castle.
And it's been a long time since I've tested one of these. So I couldn't remember if this was slow for one of these or not. The airflow doesn't feel slow, I'll give you that. But it does. It looks a little slower than like.
760. We'll go with 765.
Okay, 765. I'm too tired to do math in my head.
Divided by 3.
255. That does seem a little slow. I would think it would be around 300.
Right. I don't think so, but,
We can check the capacitor later on and just see.
Yes.
But on the other hand, those are very wide, steeply pitched blades, and it's definitely moving about as much air as. So maybe these just go a little slower because of the surface area of the blades.
Kind of like blender fans, like K63s. They're just
Yeah.
that powerful, but this blade is steeply pitched.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's check the CFM. This is our.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is over there. Yep.
This one, okay, I'm gonna turn it on.
So I actually remember the math for a 56-inch fan. Our number is, I believe, 17. I'm gonna actually just double check it. Indeed. Yeah, it's 17.1 is the
551.
551.
Yeah. It just gives me numbers all over the
So
place.
that's about a 9400 CFM, which is similar to what we've been measuring with other. We lost Todd. It was just similar to what we've been measuring with other 56-inch fans. So I would say that's about right.
Okay.
Dayton Lascos were around there. The gold line we measured was around there.
Yep.
So okay, well then now we do spin down, which is what it sounds like.
Yep.
When I first started videoing fans, Todd, I used to just stop it with my hand, and I would have so many irate YouTube commenters that wanted to see it slow to a stop. And the good thing about that is it is a indication of bearing health, not the indication of bearing health. But if
It's one good
if it
idea.
abruptly stops, then we know it's got stiff bearings.
Yeah, if it stops like it has a brake on it.
Yeah.
Normally, if these things take a long time to coast down, then we
Right.
know
The
ideally.
bearings are healthy and they're
Yeah.
well lubricated.
Yeah.
Yes. Like these 4 gold lines, that one there's got the longest spin down out of them all.
Yeah.
Kind of like all my tats, there was one that had the longest out of them all. So it just
So then the next thing we do, Todd, is we have a decade capacitor over there, and it actually
this thing right here.
goes up to 40. So the next thing we do is we take a similar bet on what microfarad value it will start.
Yep.
And most fans that use a PSC, a little dyslexia there, motor are generally in the
Split capacitor motor.
in the maybe 2 to, what did I say?
Yeah, 2 to maybe 5.
2 to 5 range, 2 to 6, 2 to,
most.
you know.
Usually 5, 6. Well, some of those older, like the Unions,
Yeah.
industrials, may not start till like 5.
So once again, we always make whoever's newest take the first stab.
See where it's gonna start.
Just take a shot in the dark.
I was maybe on a 3.
Okay,
Okay.
Pete, what are you going with?
They haven't stopped all the way yet.
Yeah. Okay,
No, yeah, we're not. We're gonna wait for it to stop all the way. What are you going with, Pete?
I am gonna give it the benefit and actually try for 2.
Okay, and it's Price is Right rules, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm actually, if it wasn't Price is Right rules, I was gonna go with 5. But since everybody else guessed lower, I'll go with 4, and because I think it's gonna take a little bit more current to start.
Okay. Here is 1. Nothing. I said 2. Nope, I lost.
Pete loses.
And here, let's try Todd's 3. Nope.
Nope.
4.
Come on, big money.
5. It's budging. 6.
6.
What's it drawing on? 6.
0.3.
Okay, so bearings didn't look stiff to you.
They didn't seem that stiff, but since it draws over an amp, that's why I thought it might.
Okay, that
That's why I thought it might not.
start as low
Yeah.
as we thought it was going to
Yeah.
start. And the 6 is already like a
That's a little slower than is useful for an industrial fan.
right.
It's a restaurant fan.
Yeah. 7.
So Pete's favorite wall control has the capacitor values of 8, 12, and 20. So we mock him mercilessly about that. So as soon as we get to 8, we're gonna mock Pete.
Okay. 8.
Crunch, 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 crunch. You don't have anything to chew on, Pete.
No, I don't.
Isn't there any candy left over there?
Not crunchy candy.
Okay, we'll have to buy
Just
some
the
more.
chewy.
Or some extremely loud, some kettle chips or something. But what about that angel food? That's pretty loud.
Oh, yeah.
So the reason this started is because when we would test fans in my garage, Pete would always bring a bag of chips, and then he would chew as loudly as possible in the camera, which annoyed me. So I told him he can only chew loudly when we are at 8, 12, and 20, and that is most of our stupid things and fake sponsors have to do with us mocking each other or someone else.
Okay, do you want to take this?
Yes, I do. I don't know how. Well, do me a favor. Put it in that box over there on the thing. Because, depending on how late we're here, I might start sorting that stuff tonight. If not, I'll come probably one day this week and do it.
Okay.
Okay, so where are we at? We're at 8? And it does look like
We're
8.
at 9.
Oh, okay. It does look like the 8 might be a good
Here's 10.
low for this. And the main reason we do this, Todd, is so we can figure out what speed controls, what work with what fans, especially with with vintage fans and modern speed controls. You kind of have to, sometimes you even have to, I will open one up and solder in new capacitor values and stuff like that in order to get things to work.
Yeah, we sometimes like to use a 4-speed. Here's 11. And here's 12.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Pete's a good sport, at least. When we mock him, he laughs as opposed to getting his feelings hurt. Okay.
13.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be too low to do those on the original down rods and all. I
I
wouldn't.
wasn't sure.
It's not bad, right?
No.
You have to be careful with the orange ladder. We don't let Rick move the orange ladder. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Have no more leading edges.
Yeah.
You met Rick, right, Todd?
Yeah, we have
Little small bald guy.
Ricker Sheep.
That's true. One of our sponsors we call Rick or Sheep. And
There's
it's a game we
14.
play. Whenever we hear a sound, we have to guess if it's Rick or Sheep. And that game was birthed out of keep doing the test, Pete.
Here's 15.
And that game was birthed out of the first time that Rick came. He was very
16.
late, so every time we heard a sound, we thought it was him arriving, but it was not. It was a sheep. Because as you know, there's sheep on the property.
17. Yeah. Yeah.
Rick or sheep, Pete?
Oh, that's it's probably sheep.
I think that was sheep.
Here's 8.
You can play the game with anything. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a sound. It can be Rick or sheep. But those are your only options. It's either Rick or sheep. So it can be a
19.
sound. It can be
And 20.
crunch, 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 crunch. Oh, Todd's enjoying the anemometer. Let me know what the highest number is you get. Because I've always been curious
No.
if you can get a better reading on the ground than up in the air.
This is 20. Let's see. I'm going to hit the high switch and see how.
Quite a ways.
From 99 to that's not really much.
Well, I heard a difference in the airflow is all.
Maybe so, but I don't think it's enough.
Highest number we got, Todd, was around 550. So let me know if you get anything higher.
54.9 degrees Fahrenheit in here. It's freaking cold.
That's actually warm to us. I mean, we've been out here working when it's been 20. But when we're not filming, we turn on the metal heater of metalness, and it can get plenty warm in here.
Okay.
So Todd, you're an electronics guy. Can you do a better job of explaining what happens if we go too high on the decade capacitor?
And
It
we
creates
go-
a resonant frequency, and it will cause it to draw more current than it actually does with full
Just-
power.
yeah.
Can you do a better job of explaining why that is than I can? Because
Presently.
okay,
Here is 22.
too much Todd supplies.
Well, and
23.
also not enough theoretical math with AC resonant circuits.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand it enough to.
Calculus.
Yeah, I understand it enough to kind of grasp what's happening,
So
but
I'm
not enough to
over
explain
by
it.
a little bit.
On what?
I'm at 24.
So 24, Todd, is when it goes over. Okay.
Because if I hit the high switch, I'm at 23.
That's pedal felts. I don't know if they're ones that I just cut and they are just bootleg versions, or if they're ones that I bought and they're the proper versions. But either way, it's pedal felts. So our next test, we use the Triac-based variable speed control, which we refer to as the solid state speed control, even though there's a lot of different solid state speed controls. And so our next bet is to whether or not it will be, how noisy it will be with the Triac-based control because of the sawtooth wave. So you heard how some of the other fans were a little buzzy because they're on Triac-based controls. They weren't getting a clean sine wave.
Yeah, we
So
have this
some of them are
spot
dead
here.
silent, which we call silent. Some of them are ever so slightly noisy, which we call bedroom quiet. Some of them are moderately noisy, which we call living room quiet. And some of them are unbearably loud, which we just call loud. So feel free to place your bet.
Yeah. You think it's going to be silent, a little bit noisy, or very noisy?
And we acknowledge that you have no frame of reference for this whatsoever.
Maybe a little bit.
So he's going.
I'll split the difference just to be safe and hedge my bets, etc.
Okay.
So he's going with bedroom quiet. Is what it sounds
Okay.
like. Pete, what you going with?
I'm going to go with silent.
Silent. Okay. Well, I'm with living room then. Well, Pete loses. Todd might win this one.
What do you think?
Todd, would you call that bedroom quiet or living room quiet? No, that's definitely bedroom, right?
I think so.
That's not very loud.
That's like, we've heard really loud ones.
Yeah. Well, turn on those, sir, just for Todd's sake, for reference, turn on the peak fans and show them what loud is like, because those are pretty loud. Turn them on medium, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not that bad, I guess.
No, it's not, but it's.
We have some that are, yeah, that's probably living room quiet. Okay, what do we got left, Pete? Anything?
No.
Just thanking our sponsors?
Yes.
So
thank you.
why don't you show Todd our first sponsor? Where's our legacy sponsor?
Oh, fan stick.
Fan stick. So remember that church I showed you pictures of that belongs to McGee?
Yeah.
Down in the
So
theater,
in the sanctuary, the former theater, they had a whole bunch of ceiling fans they put in the 90s, and they didn't have the presence of mind to put like long pull chains on them. So they use a painter's pole with a coat hanger on the end to turn them on and off because there's no switches.
Yeah,
And
fans and lights are the same thing.
we were highly tickled by that, so we dubbed that Fan Stick, and Fan Stick is our original sponsor, and we made a version of Fan Stick here for the barn. It's not a painter's pole.
Yeah.
And you can actually go to fanstick.biz, buyfanstick.com, and also lightstick.biz, and so that is our original sponsor, Fanstick.
Fan stick.
Yes.
So we have two mottos for Fanstick. Pete, why don't you tell them what the mottos for Fanstick are?
Oh, there's
First motto is buy Fanstick.
stick.
Buy Fanstick. And the second one is Fanstick is the solution to all of my problems. Those are the two slogans.
Yeah. And when there's certain fans here that have
we have a little commercial that we do for Fanstick where you try to reach the pull chain and you can't. And then so you say, this is the worst day of my life. And then somebody else chimes in and says, buy Fanstick. And then you get a big smile and you say, Fanstick is the solution to all. We'll have you film a Fanstick commercial for sure. This fan doesn't have a pull chain though.
Right.
So we already talked about Rick or Sheep, the game. So that's
not the solution to your problems presently.
Well, we have no problems presently. We are problem free. This is Hakuna Matata right here.
Yeah, this is a wall control fan.
I don't know. I'm here.
Well, that's true. We do have Todd. We could hit Todd with Fanstick, and it would still be the solution to all of our problems. I don't think that made it on camera, though. What we talked about Rick or Sheep, the game, and if you want to play Rick or Sheep, go to rickorsheep.com.
Yes.
It redirects to a video, and you have to guess whether in that video it's Rick or Sheep. Hey, Todd, you know web stuff. Let me ask you this question. It's true that I know how to do a redirect, but what I want is, can you help me do a wildcard redirect? So, like, I can give it a series of YouTube videos, and then every time somebody goes to rickorsheep.com, every time they refresh it, it'll redirect to a different.
That I don't know. I'm not that versed in web design.
Do you know somebody who can do that for me?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, well, that's what I really want. Is you go to rickorsheep.com, and every time you go there, it'll redirect to a different one of my YouTube videos, and in that YouTube video, you have to determine.
You legit registered rickorsheep.com?
Oh yeah, I registered rickorsheep.com. I registered buyfanstick.com. Oh, don't forget. Don't forget. I registered. So we'll wait for Todd to finish laughing. You've known me a long time, Todd. Why does this surprise you? This
doesn't, but I think it's hilarious.
It should not surprise you in the slightest. You know
I'm not surprised.
You know my commitment to the joke is above anything else. So we've got a friend in Florida who has kind of an R-rated shop. It's mainly a smoke shop, but he sells CBD products and similar and stuff like that. So he offered to sponsor our videos, and so we created Florida Fan Stick, which is 69% longer and harder than regular Fan Stick. And so for Florida Fan Stick, you go to buyfanstickxxx.com. I think those are all the domains I've registered. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because domains are cheap. They're like $13 a piece. Why would I not?
This is true.
But I need you to help me figure out how to do the wildcard redirect, because I think that would be really fun. That every time you refresh it, it's a different video, and the video could have Rick in it, it could have Sheep in it.
Yeah.
And it's a fun game you can play with your friends. So, what other sponsors do we have?
Oh yes.
Sperry, the beverage.
Yes. Oh yeah. Show it in.
So somebody somewhere made a typo and wrote Sperry instead of Spiffy. And it caught on, and people started calling me Sperry just to be fun. So we now just mark every can of Star. That's why we buy Starry, and we mark every can of it. Todd's doing something. He's got a plan. I don't know what his plan is. Something's happening over there. What it is isn't entirely clear. What's that sound? Something. I don't know the words.
Rick or Sheep.
Okay. Yeah. Rick or Sheep. What do you think, Pete?
That's Sheep.
That's Sheep, okay. So Sperry is another one of our sponsors.
Yes.
Todd, have you heard of Taco Burrito Mexico?
It's in Green Bay. We just ate.
Not.
It's a Mexican restaurant in Green Bay. I was highly tickled by the name. So that's one of our sponsors as well. So if you want a taco, a burrito, or Mexico, it's where you go.
Yeah.
Food any good?
So they have 2 locations.
Or actually 3.
They have 3 locations. One of the locations I thought was exceptional. The one Pete and I went to I thought was okay. Unfortunately, the one Pete and I went up there, the better location was closed. But what other sponsors do we have, Pete?
Oh, yes.
81220 LLC.
Yes.
We learned about 81220 LLC because Pete's favorite controls have the 8, 12, and 20 capacitor values.
Yeah.
And what's our slogan at 81220 LLC? Crunch, 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 crunch. Any other sponsors, Pete? Did we get all the sponsors?
Let's think here. Oh, the good
The good manufacturer. So those lights over the workbench there, Todd?
Ones that are
The actual name of the company is the Good Manufacturing Company.
And there's a sticker on it.
There's a
too.
sticker on it that says that. It says Chicago company from the 50s.
Yeah.
So that name also tickled us. So one of our sponsors is the Good Manufacturing Company. And the slogan we gave them is,
There's a sticker. You see that? When excellence is...
for when excellence is too much, you go with the Good Manufacturing Company, Todd. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure.
Okay. I think that's all the sponsors. So once again, patreon.com/dspiffy. And it's forward slash?
Yeah, backslash is our Windows file path delivery.
I've been saying backslash for like 100 videos.
Yeah, that's incorrect. Web file path delimiter.
So you know that, but you don't know how to do my wildcard thing?
No, because I don't know. I don't know how to do web
Okay,
server side
so
stuff.
don't trust him about the backslash thing because he doesn't know how to do the other thing.
It's always forward slash.
When he figures that
Backslash is a Windows file path delivery.
when he figures out how to do the wildcard Ricker Sheep videos, then we'll believe him about the backslash. So how else can they support our sponsors, Pete? By Thanstick. Thanks for watching.